Hello and welcome to Showtime number... I don't know the number because, and I have a good reason to it. Before I get into why we're here and the show today, which you should know from last week's Tuesday, the Showtime challenge, I had to go to London today to sort out my visa. All well and good. Yes, if they give me a week is what you need to do to make sure your visa's there, usually two. I had to go in person. Now, going in person to London in England is not the easiest of tasks, although it's not the hardest. I got a train, and off that train I had less than 10 minutes to jump station to another train that was in a different station. On that train, straight to London, off that train, from the same station to the Underground, into a train, onto the Victoria line, to the end of the Victoria line, onto the Circle line, up into Kingston High Street. And from Kingston High Street, I had to cross the road to take a photo of me to go into the visa to be handed into the Belarusian office. As I approached the Belarusian office, there was a guy standing outside complaining the fact that they had closed the office early. I was like, oh shit, how could they possibly do that? So I ring every single bloody button on the thing saying, I need this, else I'm in serious shit. Anyway, long story short, we were at the wrong door. The underground passage, where the actual door is, was there. And I was a gentleman enough to let that guy go before me because he was there first, even though I was first through the underground door. Needless to say, they looked at the paperwork and they saw that the form I was given by my employers was incorrect. It was an old, outdated version of the form. So the woman gave me a pen and a piece of paper and said, do it again. She also said, but fricking hurry, we were meant to have closed 3 minutes ago. So I'm there like, scribbling, there, okay. I need this document by Sunday. It needs to be at my house and not here because I'm not going back to frickin' London. Anyway, all that was fine. I got outside, sigh of relief, checked my phone. My phone was dead. It was on Skype all the way down, planning that little bit of the journey, which all went wrong. Anyway, I then bought a charger for my phone because I left mine at home. I then looked for a cafe that would allow me to charge my phone so I could let everyone know that everything is happy and everything's sorted. So I did that. That was cool. Starbucks, great place for not only a coffee but a panini and plugging in your phone and free Wi-Fi, although the Wi-Fi quality is not exactly the best. It is free. So that was good. We got there. So I relaxed for about 45 minutes after the running around town trying to make sure that I was there in time, which obviously I had 2 minutes to spare. I then decided that I would go and have a little bit of shopping. I'm in London. I need a coat. I haven't actually got a coat. And I'm going to Minsk. And it's snowing, like -50. And I need a coat. I don't need a coat in England, so I'm like, I need a coat. So I was looking around all the shops for that, and I had till 4 o'clock, so did the conductor tell me on the train, to get a train. Now, any of you who are wise enough to this story has already figured out that I've noted that 4 o'clock was when I meant to be back. I was wrong. The guy did say 4 o'clock, but he was off a different train, and he bought a ticket for me for a different company whose time limit for this particular ticket was 3 o'clock. So at 3 o'clock, because I went really early, like an hour early, to the train station, I went into the train station and found my train and walked up to my train, which was leaving about 20 past, and said, here's my ticket. And then she was like, yeah. No, not valid. Why? And she was like, it's on peak. And I was like, on peak starts at 4. And she was like, no, on peak starts at 3. Really? Really? On peak starts at 3. Now, the only train that could get me to London in the morning on time, as far as I could figure out, was this quite expensive one, the Virgin train. If you've ever heard of the trains in the UK, you have the trains and then you have Virgin trains. Virgin trains are nicely kept, they're well painted, everything works, and it's a little bit wider, I think. At least it feels it. And I think the seats are warmed. I don't know if that was my imagination, but it definitely felt it. But so I paid for that premium, and so they're rejecting me off this train and said that I can go on the cheaper train if I want to. That will leave at 5:02. So I had like an hour. So I went up to the information desk to confirm this story, but they passed me on to the Virgin desk who said I had to go to another train station. So I was like, hold on a second, there was some truth to what the Virgin people said at the gate, not this information office, about the other train accepting my ticket, because I bought this ticket off another company that then put me on a Virgin train to begin with. So I went up to the desk of one of the trains that were heading my direction and said, will this ticket do for this train? He was like, yeah, well, there's others, but this might do. I go on there, and the passengers were like, yeah, but this one stops like everywhere, and it's got to be like 3.5 hours for you to get to where you wanted to go, because it goes all over the place or something. And I'm like, how does a train do that? But apparently this one does. Anyway, I then go to another. I get told that in about 4 minutes there's a train leaving from another station. I was at number 7, platform, sorry. And number 2, there was going to be a platform. And number 2 platform, there's going to be another train leaving in 4 minutes that goes more direct. So I freaking leg it across the thing, up to the thing, will this ticket do? And the guys looked at me like I was speaking German, then shrugged their shoulders and said, ask that guy. And this other guy was at the other end of the train, so the train's about to leave in 2 minutes, and they close their door 30 seconds before the time they're meant to leave. And I showed him a ticket, said, will this do? He was like, yeah. That's it. It's like, no, like, yeah, of course, sir. It's just, yeah. So I'm like, fine. Got onto the train, but there was no seats. This train was so packed full of people. The train that wouldn't let me on, even though I'd paid for it because I was half an hour late, was empty, like practically empty. It would have cost them nothing to let me on it. But no, I don't care what the guy said to you. It was at 3 o'clock. You're here at 4. Fuck you. What? Anyway, so I ended up standing up, and I've been running around London trying to get all this stuff sorted, from train to train, running. So I'm there sat with my backpack, and I got my book out and was reading it. And I thought, sod it. Threw my backpack to the floor and just slumped onto the floor. So I'm sat there with my legs slightly in the air in this aisle that's about that big, made for a chipmunk, reading my book, and at every stop having to get up, lean against the wall as people squeeze past me to get out the train, swearing to the fact that I've actually paid a premium to be on the bigger train, but the fact that I've been told I wasn't allowed to go on it. Fortunately, after about 3 or 4 stops, I was allowed to sit down. However, my mobile was very low, so I didn't want to use it for anything other than an emergency if necessary. Let's say I miss my stop, or it doesn't actually stop at my stop and I need to get picked up. So I wasn't checking the time schedule for this train. But my train, the train I was meant to get, was an hour and a half in duration from leaving London to get to Birmingham. Then I had another like 20-minute train to get to where I live. Now that took 2.5 hours, or more, close to 3 hours on this train. And I didn't get in until like half an hour ago. So that's why the show is late. Yeah. So with that story adjourned and put on the shelf with the rest of the stories that have happened to me recently, we're going to look today at the attempted challenge, and the people who are brave enough, the heroes of our stories, that are trying to do the rotation of the turret before shooting each time. Now these guys were honourable men or ladies who were trying their best to not ruin their statistics while playing a fun game. So let's jump in the game. Our first person, Bobi221, as he goes ahead and attempts to challenge in his T20, and a lovely choice of tank, I must say. And before we go any further, let's check the sounds on. And it is, although someone's been playing with my sounds. Were you guys deafened beforehand? I don't know, but here we go. We'll put it down to max number 1 speed. And today we're going to watch from their view, from the view of the player, because I think it's important to see what was going through their mind as we see them try their best to not ruin their reputations in the face of the enemy. So, anyway. So, Bobi221, or Bobby221, or even Bob221, whatever he's deciding to do, has picked a very good tank in my opinion. It's got a great turret rotation, as you can see. So this guy's clearly thought of what he was going to do. And here's first shots going off, and the rotation of the turret while backing away. He's intending to win. His reload speed is actually the same as his rotation. I think he planned this. So he comes forward again for his second shot. He wasn't able to fire before his rotation of his turret, so he hasn't actually suffered too much. First shot goes into his side, but he's able to rotate. As he's running away from his enemies, finding it hard to look where they are, being able to have to rotate his turret like that. His base is being captured, but don't worry, that's only a rush. This is encounter after all. This brave soul is not only doing the challenge, but he's also on encounter. And this shot damages his turret rotation. So now he has a damaged turret rotation ring. If I was him, I would use my repair kit. Oh my. So now his reload speed and his rotation is not the same. And this is actually going to hurt him for the rest of the battle. Oh my. So yeah, Bob, good luck there, my friend. He comes out and takes a hit of their T-34 and has to spin around his tank. And as he does so, he is not able to monitor where the enemy tanks who are all closing in on him. And it's going round, and now it's round, and he can do another shot. Will he kill him? Yes, he will. Great kill. That's 2. That's really impressive. Although, where's his repair kit? Come on, man, repair that turret ring. The most important thing for this. Come on, man. I can't believe you went in with no repair kit. So he's now facing another T-34. If he rushes the shot, it's going to be a bounce. I knew it. I just had this feeling in my bones that he was going to rush that shot, and he did. Biggest mistake of his life is he has to rotate that turret once again to be able to get another shot off. But someone else took it out for him, I think. No, oh wait, we got a Hellcat there coming in. Yep, it is a Hellcat, but his shot goes through, and this must be confusing his enemy. I want to see what he's thinking right now as he sees this tank slowly turn around that turret. But he does get the kill, and that's a 3rd kill for him, which is absolutely amazing. He's got 3 kills, all solid as well. And if he had a repair kit, he would have got more. Absolute guarantee he would not be this badly damaged. And he gets the 4th. Ridiculous. He has been able to rotate his turret with a damaged turret ring and get 4 kills. Although the first 2 basically were done with a turret ring. But that was unfortunate. Of all the things to get damaged, the turret ring. Wow. Sip of tea as we see what he's going to do next. His team are winning, but they do still have their T29, T29. So we're going to see what they do with that. And 3 artillery. And trying to rotate your turret around between shots against artillery is not the best idea. However, his teammates do clean up the the T29. So I think we're going to have a victory on our hands here for our first challenger. An absolutely fantastic game from Bob, who clearly had a look through all his tanks to see which one suited the challenge the most. And the T20 suited that bill absolutely perfectly. While its turret was not damaged, it had the exact same rotation as it had reload, which was absolutely beautiful. And he doesn't forget, even with long range sniping, that he has to rotate this turret. 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's gone my way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Oh wow. There it goes. Wow. Absolutely fantastic. Keep going. Here we go. Here we go. And he's going to go and see. We're going to see if he actually gets any more kills. Our hero today, completing the challenge successfully. And he does! He gets his 5th. Will he get Top Gun? Let's spin a bit fast. No, he's miles away. He's not going to get Top Gun. So let's just fast forward it till the end to make sure nothing else happens. But well done. Round of applause for Bob, who not only did the challenge, he did the challenge superbly. He successfully did it without any hitches, no breaking of the rules, and even without consumables. So it was possible, guys. For all the people going, you're ruining my statistics. That. I had so many comments where people was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that challenge. You're just trying to destroy me. You're trying to ruin my stats. Other thing to note, I'm actually drinking from a lady's cup because I accidentally made a coffee in my tank mug before the show, which I didn't want, and I gave it to my wife, and I had a tea in a flowers cup. But it just proves my manliness because I can show it off to you and not be afraid. So, our first hero of the day managed to successfully complete it, but not all stories will end so successfully. We have several more replays to show you this afternoon, this evening, or this morning, depends on where the world you're watching, where people don't fare so well. So the next replay I'm going to start, and I think I'm going to pause between breaks to have a little bit of a cliffhanger, would be Gunsmith 64 in his T-34. Now that's not the tier 8 premium tank, that is the tier 5 medium tank of the Lushens on Siegfried Line. He's mid-tier, sorry, I always say mid-tier, he's mid-grouping, but he's not mid-tier. However, he is against heavy tanks and the like, although not many, so this isn't too bad. However, I would not have chosen the T-34, not the best tank for this challenge, on the main reason that its turret rotation is slow and its reload rate is really quick. So, I also noticed that he's got binoculars and camo. Are you a sniper in the T-34, good sir? Oh, suit you, sir. Suit you. So let's fast forward a little bit and see what happens here. I can only imagine this is going to end incredibly disastrous because a T-34, as I said, has a very quick reload rate and it doesn't rotate its turret particularly fast. So let's see him get into battle, almost clipping his teammate there in the M5 Stuart. I'm going to mosey on into town. What we have noticed is that all the icons have disappeared from the top of the tanks, and I'm going to go into settings quickly and try and fix that. What the devil is going on? What the devil? What the... It doesn't seem to like me saving what it needs to do. But don't worry, you're not missing anything. He's just getting into battle. There we go. Oh. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Let's enlarge that minimap so you guys can see what's going on. For some reason, it sometimes decides to forget. But here's his plan, his devious plan. He thinks that he's going to sit at a distance and snipe away. One shot, reload in his own time, rotating his turret. However, the enemy team has something to say about that, with 4 of his teammates already dead. So he pushes forwards and tries to get near the cap. Again, we're going to be watching, I'm going to let everyone know who's just tuned in that we're watching from the point of view of our hero here, Gunsmith 64, as he attempts to do the near impossible with his T-34. And I, honest to God, cannot see how he fathoms to pull this one off. But here's his first shot, and it bounces, and here comes the rotation. He's already reloaded, and he's not a quarter way round. And there he goes, all the way around. It took more than double his reload to spin it all the way around. Not as good at timing as the T20, but let's see what he does with it. T. Coming around the side, trying to help his teammates out there with the, is that the KV? No, it's a Type T-34. And the headset. He looks around though, he's doing it, but his turret goes the wrong way round. He realises the mistake too late and has to go all the way back round again. How unfortunate, but that happened to me at least once when I tried it myself. And here he goes into the town. Bit of slow off the mark. He's missed most of the battle as both half of his team and the enemy team are dead. However, that's not going to deter our hero as Gunsmith 64 continues trotting into town to get a few more shots off. And here's his perfect opportunity to get another shot, which again gets absorbed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not done much damage. I believe they're all being ricochets or 0 damage criticals. But here his rotation goes again. And he comes back around for another attempt. Reloading the manual cocking of the turrets. We all know it's super important, as the only reason that you could possibly not want to do this is because you have no sense of humour. Let's go into battle, and he's now got a side of a Stuk. He can't miss this shot. No, he doesn't, but he has to reload. That would be a perfect opportunity for a normal T-34 to just rip apart the Stuk. However, he's not a normal T-34. He has to rotate his turret to reload. However, I think he has forgotten that the Stuk is on his left. No, he's not punished for that. And he has to go against a Wolverine head on, and he goes through. And he's rotating that turret. Is he rotating that turret? Or is he going to shoot? He's rotating the turret. Good man. He was tempted to fire there. You can see his aimer going back to the enemy. However, he's ignoring that medium tank to his left. The Panzerwagen 4 was there. Or Fiat, should I say. But he gets a shot off at the Stuck, and he's just going to be driving around in circles, rotating his turret. This must be so painful for him. Oh no, the turret goes back. Oh, he's gonna forget it this time. No, he's not. He's going to get... What a trooper. What a hero. He goes all the way back around. He reloads twice, should I say. And now he's got a damage loader, which doesn't actually affect him too much because of the reload speed of having to rotate your turret. However, this story ends too shy for our hero, who was surrounded by all sides, confused by his rotation of his turret. And we salute you, Gunsmith64, for attempting the challenge with good spirits and a bad choice of tank. Here in Riveting TV, we normally learn how to improve ourselves and become better gamers and make your team have the highest chance of success. But here on Challenge Tuesday, we dick around. Awesome. In part 2, we'll come back to see some higher tier play. Someone that you may recognise from someone who sits around you that plays for a squad that are very, very highly respected in the esports scene. That may give you a hint on who that might be, who's currently playing Clan Wars for people who are in the chat. And in part 3, I'm going to attempt to do the challenge live myself with tanks of your choice from the audience. So I'll see you after the break. Oh yeah! And for people who don't know what the break is, it's a couple of songs.